Welcome to the B2T show, where we empower Christian patriots with truth. This is Rick, your host. Here we are on Monday, February 17th. Welcome. We're talking about Tarmac secrets being revealed. We even have some new Q posts. He's talking about game over. What's he talking about? Game over. We're going to get into that. Really dig into the Tarmac today. So got some great information on that. Still scary stuff on coronavirus. I talked to Gene last night, and we'll talk a little bit about that and what he's recommending. We basically need to be really praying as the remnant here for some dangerous stuff that's going on with that. I think it's being completely underreported. Looks like Scoop is on first. Thank you for being the moderator. She's also backstage. Those if you want to join us backstage, do that. Let me know where you guys are from. It's kind of fun to understand that as we go forward here. But we are going to be talking about the Tarmac secrets revealed and a lot of other stuff here. We got people from Ohio, Cincinnati. It looks like two different places, but it's probably the same. Nope, two different people. Cool. Florida, Cortez, Florida. Central Texas. That's Scoop, obviously. Eckhart, Indiana. Seattle. Awesome. Got people from we got North Carolina in the house. Phoenix, Arizona. Texas. I appreciate. Somebody said they're from the Hollow Earth. All right, sounds good. That sounds awesome. So here we go. We're going to dig into some of the Q posts right away, where we see that he posted new ones here on 3872. Right, and we got 5 or 6 of them that came in today. So there's the 14th one there. I'm going to adjust this a little bit because and here we are on the 17th, right, where he starts posting again. And we had this one with the Tarmac meeting on the 17th, so we're digging into this Tarmac pretty heavily. But first, want to go tackle the sponsor. This is that Noble Gold. You can call them at 877-646-5347, especially this time of year when there's potential tax savings with IRAs and 401ks. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what can you say about gold right now. It's zooming ahead, up around 24% since this time last year. It's projected to reach 1,600, even 2,000, according to CNBC recently. And this was before the China virus outbreak. With so much uncertainty at the moment and the stock market wobbling, gold in your RA and 401k makes sense. Why? Because it acts like a balance. If stocks fall, gold will be your safety net. If you don't buy insurance as your house is burning down, you buy it before it happens. Same with gold. But get it now before the price rockets even further. This is the breakthrough lots of people have been waiting for years, and it's fallen right into your lap. It's great. It's quick and easy to sort out, and Noble Gold will do all the heavy lifting for your day. So call them today. No, call them right now at 877-646-5347. You can see it on the screen if you're watching YouTube. You can also have a link in the YouTube right down below. Let them know that Blessed to Teach sent you. You can get your insurance pinned down with a gold IRA. All right, let's dig into this Q post. Here is this new one at 3868. And it gives us gives us little links here. The first one's a tweet. And you can see here, it's Carly Q. And this is the one that lady that's on comes on Fridays, I think, on the Matrix and Shady show, and has that funny laugh that she got famous for as she was laughing at things. But this is the secret Tarmac meeting. What happens when Loretta Lynch can no longer provide legal cover for the Clintons? Tarmac meeting end. Q. The more you know. And so here's a little clip about this guy that wrote a book about it. That was the first reporter to really break this. Let's listen.
Just didn't add up, did it?
Not at all. When I broke this story, we knew that something had occurred here that was a bit unusual. It was a planned meeting. It was not a coincidence. It was planned, it happened, and this details everything that they don't want you to know and everything they think you forgot. But Bill Clinton was on that plane for 20 minutes. And it wasn't just about golf, grandkids, Brexit. There's so much that doesn't add up. And even as time has passed, there's so much, I think, that even Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton
How
have
do you
forgotten.
know it was planned and not just a happenstance? Hey, look, our planes are next to each other.
I have a source that walks me through it from point A to point B to point Z. And my source saw it all unfold and says when Bill Clinton arrived at the airport, he waited. He knew Loretta Lynch was taxiing. The plane was moving. He then sat and waited in his car with the motorcade. Her air stairs come down. Most of her staff gets off. He then gets on as the Secret Service and FBI are figuring out how in the world are we supposed to handle this? What are we going to do? You know, this story isn't about right or left, Republican, Democrat. It's about right and wrong in journalism. And that was my focus of this. It's about real journalism, getting to the facts.
And that's what I love about it, getting to the facts. And because we don't have real journalism today, it's obviously all mockingbird media, puppets of the cabal, puppets literally being actors and lying to you every day through their teeth as they get wealthy and just serve the propaganda machine. So it's really nice to have people like this, and we should support him. So if you're interested in getting his book, go ahead. We're going to talk a little bit more detail about that as we go. But this is real interesting. So, and we can really dig into just going back here and search the word tarmac and go look at all these different drops and get all kinds of information. But that's the first link. The second link is actually showing, he's pointing to 203 of the Inspector General report. We've already seen this. It's like a 400-page document, right, of the 17 lies. Isn't that funny that they documented 17 as in the Q, in the number Q, number of lies that they told the FISA court that exposed. But it says look at page 203. So you go down to page 203, and it can take quite a while to get there. So I'm not going to actually do that because they actually said what they want us to know on the Q post right here. He quotes it. So Q quotes it for us right here. He says, quote, the OPA supervisor said that he later learned that former President Clinton's Secret Service detail had contacted Lynch's FBI security detail and let them know that the former president wanted to meet Lynch. Although Lynch staff was supposed to receive notice of such request, witnesses told us that they were not informed of the request from the former President Clinton. Coordination, date of Tarmac meeting, date of HRC investigation end announcement, 1 + 1 = 2. It's going to be a very hot spring and summer. Q. Woo! That's kind of exciting if you think about it. I mean, look at that. So just the fact that this is now becoming public is what is the awesome part. So because people aren't reading the whole IG report, but now that you have this book out and being interviewed on network television, so what we've known about forever, because we get news 2 weeks to 2 years in advance, right? So we've known this for a long time, but now it's coming into the public consciousness, which is a real big deal. The 100th monkey, all that type of theories really comes into play here. The summary of that was coordinated. Tarmac meeting occurred on June 27, 2016. HRC email investigation ended July 5th, 2016. So Comey comes and ends it right after Loretta Lynch gets her deal for the Supreme Court position. That's what we've known about for some time. So it's not much of a secret. That secret has been outed by Q for quite a while, and we've known about that, but now the world's going to know about it pretty soon. Here is 3869. It's about Dershowitz. So this is a YouTube. This is interesting. Dershowitz obviously was a lawyer for Epstein, was accused of things he claimed he didn't do, but he could be pretty dirty. But it looks like he's got some type of, I know they say there's no deals, but to me that's misinformation, the whole no deals thing. I think it's no deals for the guilty of the guilty. But they're using all kinds of people trying to get to the actual criminals. There's no deals for the 13 bloodlines and above that have destroyed this world and tried to take it all over. The satanic cabal is who they're really after. Remember, these puppets that are all around are, I think, getting dills right and left. Are the whole length of time it's taken this is this military intelligence operation, this brilliant plan to take down the very top by doing dills all over the place. So anyway, that's my theory. But now I think Alan Dershowitz, who was probably dirty, is obviously on the Trump train now and has done some type of deal. I agree, especially after seeing this video. So I'm sorry, this was a video that they played all the way back on December 23rd. So you're going to see that that's just a picture. So I can't click on the YouTube video. You can go back and look at December 23rd tweet and find that. But he said, watch and listen carefully. The main point of this was these threaten and call independent elected officials to fall in line, follow orders, or face being ousted. Who controls the Democratic Party? Who really controls the Democratic Party? Threat? If a major political party can be controlled, does that represent a clear and present danger to the United States of America? GS in brackets, obviously for George SORS. Q. So that's what he posted last in December 23rd, 2019, my birthday. Now you see here, this is the tweet that he's going to amplify on that post. And it's Dershowitz. I have proof Obama ordered an investigation at the request of George Soros. Woo! This is the first public reveal, I believe, that Obama's dirty, right? As far as the whole spying operation, etc. And he doesn't give much details about what it is, but if you go to this Daily Wire deal, it's quite interesting. So here you go, Praying Medic saying, "You don't say." It's got a picture of George Soros. That's awesome. And it's funny to go back and see what some of these people are saying. Trump, no longer a movement, it's a revolution. Just beautiful memes that people are doing. But you actually go to the actual article, and it's Dershowitz, I have proof. Obama ordered FBI investigation at the request of George Soros, showing that he was a puppet all along. And that is a big, big revelation right there. See if that, yeah, blew that up a little too big. There we go. So Harvard Law School professor Emrys Alan Dershowitz revealed in an interview on Sunday that he has proof that former Democratic presidential Barack Obama ordered the FBI to investigate some after far-left billionaire George Soros asked for the investigation. Hey, this is how brilliant this plan is. Just think about it. They just are pounding Trump for even tweeting about the unfairness of Roger Stone versus all these criminals that lied, like Comey and McCabe and Clapper, who lied under oath and nothing happened to them. And then Roger Stone lies under oath and they're saying 9 years, right? So he tweets about that. And then all of a sudden you have the massive Trump derangement syndrome media completely showing their colors by just attacking Trump. So then it's established, okay, so the standard is a president should never talk to the Justice Department or influence it. Even though JFK did, almost every president does direct, because it's an the Justice Department is under the control of the president, right? But they are supposed to be relatively independent. But they established, no, it's not. They want to be completely independent. They should have no say whatsoever with what happens. And then after that gets established, then they drop this bomb. See, this military precision, this whole plan. So this is precision to show, look what Obama did. He did something far worse than what Trump did, because he was not doing it because he wanted to do it. He was doing it because he was under the master control of George Soros and the whole criminal cabal. Dershowitz's remarks came after critics have attacked President Donald Trump for tweeting about matters related to the Department of Justice, which led to Attorney General William Barr publicly stating and asking Trump to stop tweeting last week. There was a lot of White House control of the Justice Department during the Kennedy administration, and I don't think we saw very many liberal professors arguing against that, Dershowitz told Breitbart News. I have some information as well about the Obama administration, which will be disclosed in a lawsuit at some point, but I am not prepared to disclose it now. How the President Obama personally asked the FBI to investigate somebody on behalf of George Soros, who was a close ally of his. We've seen this kind of White House influence on the Justice Department virtually in every Justice Department, Dershowitz continued. The difference, this president is much more overt about it. He tweets about it. President Obama whispered to the Justice Department about it. You say that George Soros asked Barack Obama to have his Justice Department investigate somebody? Breitbart News pressed. That's going to come out in a lawsuit in the near future. Yeah. Dershowitz responded, I have in my possession the actual 302 form which documents this issue, and it will, at the right moment, come out. But I'm not free to disclose it now because it's a case that's not even filed. It's a case that's not yet been filed. Woo, guys, this is going to be a beautiful couple years. This next 12 months is going to be exciting, and then we're going to get into the military tribunals, I believe, all next year. And so you see just a beautiful plan where you had, number one, them establishing that Trump shouldn't be ever influencing anybody in the Justice Department whatsoever. And then you have Obama basically talking to criminal cabal to control them. So it was just a complete brilliant move, the way they've done this. And that is basically this tweet. And so it says, purpose of Democrats install numerous rules and regs regarding the Democratic Party. So this is Q continuing. So it amplifies on this whole thing about how important it is to have George S.O.R.S. If I say that name together, this might get taken down. That's how silly the tyrant tech companies have become, such as YouTube. So anyway, you have GS basically controlling this, and then you have Dershowitz dropping the bomb, and then Q amplifies on it by saying, purpose, these install numerous rules against regs regarding the Democratic Party nominee winner. Define superdelegates. How do you control the outcome? Why is the outcome important? When GS calls, who races to answer? Illusion of democracy. Q. Look at that. Illusion of democracy, all in capitals and in brackets. In other words, it's going to get wiped out. We're going to have a real constitutional republic here soon. And this GS is in brackets too. Beautiful thing and exciting. Can move on that. So the summary of that 3869 is Dershowitz, I have proof Obama ordered FBI investigation at the request of George Soros. That's just a bomb to have that go public, right? Everybody say, oh, Soros is the boogeyman, some liberals say, right? And now he's a real criminal, and it's gonna come out, and he's not gonna have any influence on this country pretty soon. 3870, it just has a meme that says the printed cover image. It has time, and it's got all this castle with all this colors here, and it says people in the world are waking up to the fact, not fiction, that the corporate Democratic Party, politically controlled, 6 corporations own 90% of the media, fake news, is not unbiased journalism but politically motivated and controlled. Statements, not facts. Think for yourself and stop being a sheep to their narrative. They will be held accountable. Nobody walks away from this. Q. That is 3870. Corporate media is politically motivated and controlled. They are led by criminal cabal with propaganda that is not in the interest of the people. It's in the interest of them taking over, destroying America, and creating a new world order. That's what it's all about. Here we see another tweet when we go to 3871. This Harrison, 45 Harrison Herald, says, is this who GS made Puppet Hussein investigate? So this is real interesting. Is this who GS made Puppet Hussein investigate? I ran, I won. This is quotes from Trump. I was investigated, and it could have been the UK, by Australia. Could have been by Italy. I was investigated by the Obama administration. So basically, who ordered this spying on Trump? It was George S.O.R.S. Woo! So here's Trump talking about it.
There was tremendous corruption against me. If we feel there's corruption, we have a right to go to a foreign country. And just so you know, I was investigated. Okay, me, in my campaign, I ran, I won. I was investigated. You won't say that, will you? I was investigated. I was investigated, and they think it could have been by UK. They think it could have been by Australia. They think it could have been by Italy. So when you get down to it, I was investigated by the Obama administration. By the Obama administration, I was investigated. So when these people talk, but as far as I'm concerned, what I want to look at and what we want to investigate, anything having to do with corruption.
That's right. Investigate anything having to do with corruption. This is justice. This is really happening, guys. It is quite exciting to see it all unfold like this. It's like, woo! And so after that tweet, it says, do people really believe this attack can happen against the President of the United States and nothing will happen? Moves and counter moves. Q. Did George Soros order Obama to investigate Trump? Wow. Look at this. 3872, last drop of the night. It says, to be blunt, ... game over. Q. Woo! That would be interesting if George Soros was the first one or Obama was the first one to be arrested. So this is, I just wasn't, just was big time surprised that the whole Obama Soros thing would come out. As slow as this thing was moving, the wheels of justice, they get strong once it starts rolling, but they take forever, right? To actually see Q and the mainstream media talk about Obama and Trump talk about Obama and in the GS word, right? The George SORS word. It's like, wow, that is exciting. Let me refresh real quick, see if we're done with it. Yeah, we're done with the Q drops, but there's a lot of other analysis we can go do on those, on the actual drops, right? On the actual tarmac, especially, right? And so it's really, really fun to see Dershowitz. I have proof. Woo! That is, he is obviously taking swings at his old party. Now, if I look at this Q dropped recap on the Tarmac meeting, quick review. So just basically there's a quick review, and he'll cut some stuff out, but it goes all the way to Q36. Military intelligence, no media, no leaks. Why was negotiated on the tarmac? What was negotiated on the tarmac between Bill Clinton and Lynch? Remember, it was expected HRC was going to win during this time period. What if the Wizards and Warlocks tipped off a local reporter as to the supposed unscheduled stop? And this is what's so funny. So the NSA has it all. FISA goes both ways. So the Wizard and Warlocks, and then the Wizard and Warlocks being most likely the White Hats. So the White Hats tipped off this reporter, most likely. What if the NSA, under the personal direction from Adam R. and his meeting miscat, and logged under a false identity to prevent bad actors from locating while also verifying to said players all was clear? No logs. What really happened when the Wizards and Warlocks revealed what they had? Was Comey forced to spotlight shortly thereafter? Not by choice. Right before the election, no doubt, which would cast suspicion. These are crumbs, and you cannot imagine the full and complete picture. So what was established? Meeting on tarmac involved a negotiation between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. Wizards and Warlocks tipped off a local reporter. Admiral Rogers directed NSA staff to miscategorize data related to the tarmac meeting and store it under false identity to prevent detection, and also give false understanding to black hats that it was all okay. 4, at some point, the Wizards and Warlocks revealed that they had the information to the black hats to force them to some action or inaction. Basically forced their hand. W&W, the Wizard and Warlocks, forced Comey's hand. Question, was the reporter in 2 Christopher Sign? Question, did the Wizard and Warlocks force the actions of Comey regarding the email server just prior to the election? That might be why 6 days beforehand we got to actually see this Interesting. Q674, February 6, 2018. Public interest kept high. Uranium One, FBI informant. Awan, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Paki Intelligence. Muslim Brotherhood, Tarmac meeting. SCLL, this is the Supreme Court Loretta Lynch deal. AS 187. Part of the reason they took out Anthony Scalia was 187. Established. One result of the Tarmac meeting was the murder of Justice Antonin Scalia. Question: is the FBI informant regarding Uranium One part of the informant networking revealing One? Question: is Awan Wasserman Schultz Paki Intel network part of the information network revealing One? Interesting stuff. Then you go to Q988 in April 2nd, 2018. April, IG report. Awan, Tarmac, Iran, North Korea, Uranium One, FBI, DOJ, Mueller. Election integrity. Q. Established. Tarmac matter is one part of an entire network of matters that are all interrelated. All matters are being dealt with in the plan. Q1147, April 15th, 2018. Coincidence? The Supreme Court Loretta Lynch deal drop. POTUS tweet. Tarmac coming soon to a theater near you. Established. The meeting on the Tarmac involved a deal between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch. 2. POTUS and Q are keeping Tarmac matter in the light. Public attention. Now let's go to Q1443 as we're analyzing everything to do with the Tarmac here. Hussein, the White House, call Tarmac, Bill Clinton, Loretta Lynch, RR. James Comey, hashtag number 2, Loretta Lynch. BP, Bill Precept, I would guess. PS, Peter Strzok. LP, Lisa Page. These are all the people that were involved in taking him down with the insurance policy. 302s, texts, 302s that were changed. Texts, Tarmac, FBI, DOJ, operative instructions, UK, SIS, dark to light. Shall we play a game? Established. Rosenstein aware to some degree of Tarmac and related matters. 2. Possible a call between Hussein, White House, and Rod Rosenstein took place regarding the Tarmac meeting and about Clinton Lynch. 3. This affected Comey's actions, Lynch's actions, etc. Note: Q has become more cryptic at this stage, dropping implications and clues, but being cryptic about it, possibly for purposes of affecting, forcing bad actors who are reading the board. Q 1552 on July 18th, 2018. IG email investigation. Weakest of set. Why did the intel rate sections of the IG report and highest level of national security? What does it involve? DOJ? White House? Tarmac? Established. Reconfirmed. Tarmac meeting is part of a larger network of affairs, all intertwined. Read entire drop for details. Here's Q 1556. Amanda, this is on June 18th, 2018. Amanda Rentiera, Bridge LL, and HRC. I'll be talking about Loretta Lynch. +1, Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch at the Tarmac. Witness. There's an ABC article here. Video appears to show Bill Clinton, Loretta Lynch. Look close behind Bill Clinton. Trusted by Clintons. Running for CA governor? Who is funding? Who is campaign manager? Risk is high. Established. Raniera is related to the Tarmac matter. Possible she played a role as a bridge between the Clintons and Lynch. Possible she was present at the meeting. +1. Possible she was a witness to it. Possible her presence and role at the Tarmac meeting represent a high risk for the Clintons, etc. Note, again, Q is cryptic. Establishing facts requires further digging and confirmation. July 1st, 2018. Thank you, U.S. Secret Service. This is the Blaze. Stunning revelation buried deep in the IG report blows hole in the Lynch-Clinton Tarmac meeting narrative. So we found that out, right? The IG report. Established. Meeting between Clinton and Lynch was coordinated. Public evidence of the fact exist aside from hidden information due to the Secret Service. 3. Possible U.S. Secret Service entities supported and supporting Q team's work in verifying, identifying, covering the Tarmac meeting. Q 1828 SPY-OP. Tarmac final meeting, no charges drop equals Supreme Court. Established. The Tarmac meeting, part of a larger network of meetings and actions. Possible Tarmac meeting was a final meeting in a series of meetings and negotiations. 3. Tarmac deal was no charges by DOJ for a Supreme Court seat for Lynch. Woo! That's quite exciting. Here's Q 2261. Estimated panic in D.C. EST, established panic in D.C., I'd guess. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth reveal Tarmac, Bill Clinton. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth reveal Comey HRC email case. Loretta Lynch talking equals truth reveal Hussein instructions regarding HRC email case. Loretta Lynch talking truth reveal Brennan no name coordination to frame POTUS. When do birds sing? Established. Possible Lynch and cooperating witness for Trump DOJ team. 2. Q team wants black hats to think that Lynch is talking. Note, Q implies Lynch is talking, but question marks indicate not directly confirmed. Woo! That's right. So here's on Q 2860. The deal of a lifetime. Tarmac meeting not planned according to Loretta Lynch and BC. Obviously Bill Clinton. Security reports indicate U.S. Secret Service, secret detail for Bill Clinton, and FBI, secret detail for Loretta Lynch, planned for a meeting. Supreme Court, Loretta Lynch, deal presented by Bill Clinton. What actions did James Comey take days after? Obviously, he said that no reasonable prosecutor, after listing all the legal acts, no reasonable prosecutor would go after it. It's like, oh, not. Less than a week after the Tarmac meeting, James Comey announced that the FBI would not recommend an indictment against HRC. Returning to the news. Established. The Tarmac meeting was planned, but Clinton and Lynch lied about it. Evidence exists that meeting was planned. The Secret Service implied Clinton's offered a deal to Lynch for Supreme Court seat in exchange for controlling the investigation, or for exchange for controlling the investigation into Hillary's email servers. Comey played a direct role in response to the deal between Lynch and Clinton. Note, Q has by now built up a clear picture of the Tarmac meeting and who was involved. Case for treason becomes very strong. Q 3045. This is March of 2019. We have another link to this Ratcliffe status. Since it's probably just a tweet, we'll go take a look at that real quick. Lisa Page confirmed to me under oath that the FBI was ordered by the Obama DOJ not to consider charging Hillary Clinton for gross negligence in handling of classified information. That's like, woo! That's big, guys. That's big right there. Oh, now it goes to the top. No, it did good. It did good. The Tarmac meeting, days later. JC, James Comey, no charges are appropriate. If the top FBI chain of command for the mid-year investigations were all fired, does one conclude the investigation was not conducted properly? Of course. Does one conclude all statements made by the FBI, think no hack of server as single example, could be false? Of course. Take a moment and think about what that means. Brackets, kill brackets, treason. Established. Lisa Page confirmed in House hearing that DOJ instructed FBI to not pursue or recommend charges. 2, a sequence of events clarified. The Tarmac meeting led to Comey declaring no charges are appropriate. 3, events around and including the Tarmac meeting constitute treason. Here's Q3364. What happens when Loretta Lynch can no longer provide legal cover for the Clintons? Tarmac meetings end. Lynch upholding story and protecting, staying silent about Clinton was. This is established that Lynch is upholding the story and protecting, staying silent about the Clintons was legal cover for the Clintons. 2, Tarmac meeting issue is game over when Lynch no longer fills that role. Note, Q implies that Lynch has cooperated with Trump DOJ, and the Tarmac meeting matter is essentially a done deal. Question: if the Tarmac meeting matter is a done deal, ended, why has no action been taken? Answer: because it's part of a larger network of coordinated treasonous acts. The plan is complex and requires a holistic takedown of the cabal and deep state. Q 3868. This is in February of 2020. Now we're getting really recent today. And these are these actual things I read to you earlier, where basically on page 203 of the executive order, I'm sorry, of the IG report, we see that for sure Clinton and the Secret Service did plan this agreement. And we see right here that he also gave us this tweet about the guy who wrote the book about the secret Tarmac meeting. So that new book is out, and I'll show you that here in a bit as well. So let's see if it brings us back to, nope, I have to go back this way. And then we read this coordination, date of Tarmac meeting, date of HRC investigation and announcement, 1 + 1 = 2. It's going to be a very hot spring and summer. Note, Q team reiterates facts. Connections around Tarmac meeting highlights public attention. You can go get a PDF version of this whole thing. What a well job done. And then after that, what did we see? To be blunt, ... game over Q. That is an awesome review by that Anon of an incredible series of events that have just been revealed to the public. What we've known, one thing I want to note, if you go all the way back to when we knew this Tarmac and was a big setup by the White Hats, was way back on post number 36 on November 1st. Remember, this started, on the 28th? 3 days into it, we knew there was a negotiation between Bill Clinton and Lynch. 2.5 years ago. Nearly 2.5 years ago. Woo! Moving on. Here we go. A whole, just wanted to point you out, I'll put this in the show notes, a whole thread by Praying Medic doing a great job on today, showing all the things. He kind of goes back to some pretty cool things, like just letting people know what was going on, but this is a lot what we just reviewed. Thought it was, and he does some really good job. Here's where James Comey did his little criminal reveal.
Tell you what we're recommending, but first, let me tell you what we found. 110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains are top secret, 36 of those chains secret, and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Everything I did was permitted. There was no law, no regulation.
Secretary Clinton should have known that an unclassified system was no place for that conversation.
I did not email any classified material to anyone on my email.
None of these emails should have been on any kind of unclassified system, not even Gmail.
Well, first of all, nothing was marked classified.
To the contrary,
Nothing was marked classified.
there is evidence that a
Nothing was
tremendous amount,
nothing was marked classified.
Now let me tell you what we found.
Oh my gosh.
110 emails.
It was not the best choice.
52 email chains
It was a mistake.
have been determined to contain classified information.
What difference at this point does it
8
make?
of those chains are top
It wasn't the best choice.
36 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
and 8 contain confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
With respect to our recommendation, this is going to be an unusual statement in at least a couple of ways. Although there is evidence, our judgment is that no reasonable prosecutor would bring such a case. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. I know there will be intense public debate. What difference at this point does it make? 110 emails.
It wasn't the best choice.
52 email chains
I made a mistake.
have been determined to contain classified confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
No reasonable prosecutor, even though it's like, that is so incredible. I thought that was that was an older video, but just awesome. So Praying Medic does a deep dive on a lot of these as well. Here's a Trump tweet that says, Comey throws A.G. Lynch under the bus. This was back in April of 2008. Why can't we all find out what happened on the tarmac in the back of the plane with Wild Bill and Lynch? Was she promised a Supreme Court seat or AG in order to lay off Hillary? No golf and grandkids talk. Give us all a break. So this is Trump setting this all up all the way back in April 2018. And now we're starting to hear it. We're starting to see it. It's like, woo! Exciting stuff. So again, he does a great job going back to some other things, etc. Like here's one where it's talking about public interest, keep high. We read through this, right? So he goes back similar to what I just read you. I love how he does a real good job at this as well. But he linked some. What he did a little differently is linking some Donald Trump stuff to this. Like here he is. Comey throws A.G. Lynch under the bus and talking about the tarmac. And this was on the 15th when there was a drop. On 4-2 talking about the same stuff before, obviously just another Q-proof, many Q-proofs that we have, hundreds and hundreds of them now, right? And here's another link to this as well, talking about Supreme Court, RGB, AS-87, so fun stuff. So he does a great job if you want to dig into, here's Clinton and Loretta Lynch lying about it. Just some great stuff in here too if you have more time. So I'll put that in the show notes. Again, you go to blessedteach.com, blessed with the number 2 teach.com to get those show notes. Here's a new book reveals explosive details about the Lynch Clinton tarmac. It's actually this called Secret on the Tarmac. So you can go get this book if you'd like. Christopher Sign, who he may have been he was a guy that was tipped off and was able to go document that. And he had death threats afterwards, etc. So I'll put this in the show notes too, where he's actually interviewed a little more depth than what I played at the first part, but Q already linked to it. We played that as well, which Trump is basically talking about him being investigated. And look at this: FBI raids James Biden. Tide business. So this comes down to looking at FBI agents last month raided the home of the CEO of the bankrupt hospital chain and one of its hospitals in Pennsylvania, in new signs of trouble for a company central to accusations of influence peddling by James Biden, brother of former Vice President Joe Biden. Dun, dun, dun. Things are happening everywhere, every day. It's a beautiful thing. Guys, I do want to talk about Gene, and he's really concerned about this virus. So he's coming back probably tomorrow night. It's been heavy on his heart about the misinformation, and there's tons of stuff going on this revealing of how this is really spreading way beyond what's been reported. And it's really scary. There's some videos out there I decided not to play that are just really sickening of some Chinese people who are obviously demonic, that are sick and getting blood or just this virus all over them, and put it on elevator buttons, and literally going in there literally trying to spread the virus, putting it on the escalator things, just gross stuff. These people, there's a lot of demonic people there that are spreading it on purpose. And this is going to bring China to its knees. And so Amanda Grace is going to be on Friday to talk a little bit more about how we need to pray through this. And we're going to dig through the coronavirus a little bit more and her prophecy about China being judged. So this is a huge judgment coming on to cabal in China. That was where our stronghold was. They're gonna overtake the U.S. economy. They bought up most of the U.S. They bought up most of our debt. They're gonna bankrupt the United States as part of the 16-year plan to destroy America. And now China is being brought to their knees. But this could go worldwide, and it could even potentially be the pale horse in Revelation. So a lot of people, I've read through this, and Gene and I are discussing this. I talked to Amanda about it. I'm going to talk to Mark Taylor about it as well. But this is something that you just need to keep healthy and prepare. And so that's why I did backstage. Don't miss it. Everybody's backstage. Make sure you get back. I did a full hour on the deep state hoax of health and how we can go counteract what they're doing to us, right? So go watch that backstage. It'll be on the exclusive tomorrow. I'll post it tomorrow morning. So make sure you get that. And we need to start preparing that. Eventually, I'm going to get it pared down, etc., worked through. I want to get Gene. We'll bring obviously the most important information to the front stage as well. But I wanted to get to the backstage people as soon as I possibly could. And this is that. Let's see if I can refresh this. This is the map. I'll have this in the. No, you can see the spike here. So you can see right now that it went from. They had some new diagnostic criteria, but still, it's going up fast. And Gene thinks this is massively underreported. If you look at here, it's 68,000 cases and 1,500 deaths. He thinks it's millions getting this. So we need to just be prepared for the worst here. Obviously the first and most important thing is get right with Jesus. So obviously you'll be protected more if something does happen to you. Number one, because you're going to go to heaven. Number two is you're probably going to be protected supernaturally as well. And the second, and then besides that first thing is getting right with Jesus. Second thing we need to do is keep ourselves healthy and be prepared. Be prepared to potentially not even leave your house for months, right? That's something that you have to think about. And you want to prepare, obviously, before the grocery stores are empty or there's a martial law or there's some type of quarantine. One of our dear friends, Les, who was a part of our backstage, our cultural impact system, joined us today backstage, and he's in a very infected area and is quarantined right now. So we need to be praying heavily for, and the third thing we need to do is be praying for the people of China and worldwide that they'll turn their hearts to Christ, because then that will potentially keep this judgment from following and going worldwide. So this is a big deal. China to postpone annual Congress. They're not even getting together amid the coronavirus fears. So this is serious stuff. And a lot of demonic people over there is purposely spreading it. And it's why I say prepare. One thing to do is to make sure you have enough food in the house where you don't have to leave for months at a time. And also water. You need to make sure that if the water goes bad, you don't want to be drinking fluoride water, or you don't want to be drinking something even if it goes worse than it is now. Well, think of your tap water, which is already bad. If it gets even worse because of some event, right? You need to be able to filter that. And that's why I'm really proud to have Patriot Supply give us the Prepare with Rick and the Water with Rick. I've talked to you guys about it a lot, but this is, I just ordered a whole nother 4 week beyond what I already had to make sure that I could be months by myself. This is a good deal, $87 for the 2 week one here. You're going to go to, again, preparewithrick.com. Make sure you have enough food, whether you get it from somebody else or me. Just make sure you have enough food to be months at a time for everyone in the family. This is 4 weeks for one person, right? So you obviously need 2 of these to get 4 weeks for 2 people. But this is $100 off. So instead of being $300, it's $200, less than $200, right? To get a 4 week food supply. You're going to have to prepare with Rick, get the food, and you obviously need to filter your water. Get a distiller or get something like this. This is an Exapro water filtration system. This is the one that went out of stock 3 times on us, but it's $100 off now. The Exapro Pure Pro, Alexa Pure Pro, but again, it gets rid of the viruses and bacteria and the fluoride and the chlorine and all this stuff, the heavy metals. Put 2 gallons here, goes through a filter. Got clean water. You can buy more than 1 filter if you want, and it can go faster and last longer, obviously, before you change the filters. But it gives you 2 beautiful gallons of clean, pure water here. I use a distiller now too. That's what Gene's talking to me as well. So I got one person that's actually pouring it through here and then distilling it. So only the steam comes up, which is nothing but water, right? It takes the minerals out. We're talking about this backstage as well. And so you do need to make sure you're also taking your minerals. And I'll be talking more about the front stage about what I'm doing to feel incredibly well. I went running today. My goodness, I can't go with Rocky because he's still sick, but wow. I mean, I'm sprinting three times as long as I normally do during my 2-mile run and feel going faster, and all because of I'm really doing a lot of what Gene's saying and a lot of what my natural doctor's saying. Get yourself healthy, all right? Get right with Jesus, get yourself healthy, and then help us pray as the remnant. We're going to really need to do that. Here's a funny man on going, Eric C. is an anti-Trump CIL whistleblower. Eric C. Obviously that's spelled out. Eric C. That's all. So obviously this is the name that the tyrants in the tech industry and the media and even Roberts is protecting this guy who's basically a weasel. who is the supposed whistleblower. And it's John Huber. Remember him out of Utah? Wearing a Q shirt. Look at this. If you zoom in on his tie, there's little Q's there. Little Q all over his tie. Every other one of those markings is a clear Q. So that is pretty cool. This is what we're seeing. Here, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Children Health Defense submitted a historical case against U.S. government for children injured by wireless technology and radiation. So this is a bunch of, at the end, I like to go just a bunch of generic news, but you can see there's a lot of, fighting all this, whatever this cabal's doing, we're fighting it now. Here's President Trump caught on camera. See what he's doing.
Nobody made any effort to acknowledge.
Sorry, I did.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, darling. I'll remember.
It really means a lot to me. It really does that you take that.
For those on the podcast, he's basically talking to somebody who lost their son at the cemetery.
And my son loved this country very, very much, and he gave his life painfully. Never cried out in pain or anything like that. Asked that his men be taken care of, and
What rank was he in?
He was a staff sergeant,
Right behind you,
and
sir.
not a general, not
okay.
anything like that. Just a staff sergeant, a platoon sergeant.
You take care of yourself.
Thank you so much.
You
I
take care of
really
yourself, okay?
I so appreciate you, and you too very much. President, thank you so much.
Isn't that cool? He loves the people. I just saw him falling when I was following him so closely. He just fell in love with the people. That's what I love about what he did during his first time of doing all his rallies in 2015 and 2016. It was to see him humble himself almost down from somebody who I think realized he's being used by the Lord in an anointed person. Trump administration officials to re-sign Victoria Coates from the NSC. Was labeled the anonymous author. So he continues to just drain the swamp everywhere. You gotta love it. Democrat senators hold secret meeting with Iranian leaders last week. So the Democrats have just completely, the leadership has turned to be cabal puppets, trying to do everything they can to take Trump down. Leaked internal email, multi-billion-dollar companies prohibiting travel to China due to the coronavirus. Should have moved that over to the other area, but obviously this is a lot of companies won't even have people travel, won't have people go there. Here's Trump saying, did you hear the latest con job? President Obama is trying to take credit for the economic boom taking place under the Trump administration. He had the weakest recovery since the Great Depression, despite zero Fed rate and massive quantitative easing. Now, best job numbers ever. Had to rebuild our military, which was totally depleted. Fed rates are up, taxes and regulations way down. If Dems won in 2016, the USA would be in big economic depression and military trouble right now. The best is yet to come. Keep America great. Isn't that awesome? I just love it. All right, so I brought you to that already, but I wanted to just make sure that you guys knew that I'm going to go to a prophecy here in a second, but this is the blessedteach.com site. Blessed with the number 2 teach.com. Remember, you can get your show notes right here. You can. I got new courses coming out that are being launching late March and probably May, and I have the backstage is here. So if you want to get to all Gene's health information, his red pill information, a lot of my new health information about what I personally have gone through to feel awesome, and how you can work on your health. As well as other things, exclusives, as well as the Searchy platform to find the exact minute and second of anything. So that's where you're going to go to the backstage. And again, you can join Rick backstage right here. Again, it's 30% off. You can get down to low as $7 a month if you do the yearly plan. And obviously, you come here to sign up for the email list as well. Right here will allow you to get the free show notes emailed to you each time. You can also contact me if you want to send me an email. Come right here. Here's a message. You can send me an email right here and subscribe to the email list all at the same time. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone. It's awesome. I'm looking forward to communicating with you guys. I'm also speaking, going on stages, right? So if you want to have some podcasts you think I need to be on, especially I would love to expand into the podcast realm of other Christian patriots. It doesn't necessarily have to be Q type topics, but Christian patriots and how we can actually share truth with people. That's one of my courses is going to be about sharing truth with impact. the truth of the red pill movement and the truth of the reliability of the Bible and the Jesus' great plan, or God's great gospel, God's great news, right? If you can get really good at just sharing Operation Mockingbird and moving people along to the silent war and into Q. So I got a beautiful method to do that. I use it all the time with my Uber drivers. So I'm going to train people on that. And I'm also going to train people on the reliability of the Bible to clearly be able to explain real quickly about textual criticism, archaeology, and also the prophecy. And then thirdly, get into God's good news, how to clearly explain the Trinity, truly, which is the true God, truly explain the true Jesus, God in flesh, and then truly explain the gospel. If you can just do those three things, it becomes a great way to share truth with impact. That's why the share of truth with impact is coming up. I'll show you that real quick. If you just go to the courses, right, you can get on the wait list, and then I'll let you know exactly when this is happening. You'll be the first one to know. This STWI method we're going to be using, and it's basically sharing truth with impact. Deep state lies and the Lord's good news. And if you can get really good at sharing the deep state lies and really good at sharing the Lord's good news, you're way beyond what most people are to really impact this world. And later we'll go into the cultural impact system, which really gets into forming teams to actually make that happen in the real world. So let's see. Somebody's saying I can connect with you with a few channels, sir. It sounds great, James. I'd love to hear from you. So just go send me an email, and love to connect. But I'd love to get with some other podcasts to get rolling. Let's move quickly to this. I spent too much time there probably because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get through this. I'm always running over an hour a little bit, trying to get it under an hour. We'll work on that. This is Mark Taylor talking about purging the temple. The Spirit of God says the 501c3, those that are eating of it are not eating from my tree. For when I told Adam and Eve, do not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for you shall surely see, so it is with those that eat from the 501c3. For this demonic document that you have signed has now made you spiritually deaf, mute, and blind. Woe to those who continue to use this demonic system, for you will be exposed and purged from this evil system. Now, this is obviously a very controversial prophecy that Mark Taylor gave, and you can find these all on swordrescue.com, SORDrescue.com. But if this is God telling this, and you can just see it because of the Johnson Amendment, it's silencing. You do a 501c3, you're silenced politically. And we need to be talking out about Roe versus Wade. We need to be talking out about pro-life. We need to be talking out about getting the cabal out of our nation. It's time for pastors to stand up. And you can't do it in the 501c3. And that's what they're talking about, getting out of that. Doing something that does not have the Johnson Amendment attached to it. The Spirit of God says, can you not see that you're taking a bribe? They will say it's all about the money, and for that you shall be kicked from my tribe. Taking a bite from the apple has taken you from a spiritual body to a brick and mortar and has placed you under the New World Order. For now you can be part of my spiritual body. So how can you be part of my spiritual body when you have cut off my head? For those that don't turn will surely fall as dead. Tear up the contract, repent, divorce Baal, and remarry me, and I'll remove the spiritual blindness so that you can once again see. Come out of this. Come out of this before it's too late. For my judgments are on those systems that I hate. Come out now, for I will no longer tolerate. Pretty harsh words there. Not easy to do. I understand it. If you're a pastor and have a 501(c)(3) church, restructuring is not easy, but you need to do it. You need to get out fast and get into a structure where you can speak out for God, speak out for truth, get involved instead of being silent like we've been so many years. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, let's end with this. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. So you want to ensure that your paths are straight and have God's help making that happen. And actually, he doesn't even say help. It says, and he will make your path straight. So you want God to make your path straight? What do? According to Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, you trust in the Lord with all your heart, and you don't lean on your own understanding. You just submit all your ways to him. How cool is that? But he loves us so much, he will make our path straight. Even if it doesn't make sense to us. For me, doing this at night, despite being part of a large consulting company that serves a lot of the companies I talk bad about, the tech tyrants. Well, so I'm shocked I haven't been fired yet, just to be honest. But you know what? I'm just doing what God's telling me to do. And that's what the pastors need to do too. It may cost me my whole career. It may cost the church a lot of members that want their tax deduction. But you don't have to be a 501c3 to have a tax deduction. They've never had that. So there really was no reason for churches to get in those. Other than they wanted to guarantee in the future they wouldn't have to, they could take tax deductible donations. But you can take those anyway without the 501c structure. There's a lot of other structures. So let's pray. Heavenly Father, just thank you so much. This is a hard lesson for so many people when it comes to the 501c3. I just pray for wisdom and understanding, and that we'll come to the structure and just know that Jesus is the head of this. And we don't need to be in the same contract as Planned Parenthood is. We can come out of it and be powerful churches, organizations. Home congregations are starting as well. We pray for blessings on those. We pray for blessings on these churches as they come out and start listening and becoming involved. Lord, I pray that they'll just apply this verse that we just talked about of Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, these verses. That these churches and pastors and leaders and all of us will trust in the Lord with all our heart, but not lean on our own understanding that a 501c3 makes sense, because it doesn't. Instead, we'll submit all our ways to him, and he will make our path straight. Lord, move on the hearts of all those in these countries that God's judging. Just like Nineveh, would they all repent, tear their clothes and repent, and come to you? Lord, will you release their judgment after they have repented? Release this judgment, please, Lord. We ask this thing in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. And I really appreciate you. You guys are awesome. I love you. Can't wait to see this movement continue. Can't wait till the Tarmac secrets are completely revealed. Every single word. Wouldn't that be cool if we actually learned all that? That would be just so cool. But with that, we're going to sign off, and we'll talk to you guys at a later time.
You've just listened to the Blessed Teach Show. You're now empowered with the truth. Don't miss the edited short B2T clips on a new channel called B2T Clips. A big thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and PayPal. You are truly appreciated. For the links to these sites, as well as links for show notes, backstage with Blessed to Teach, training courses, and more, visit blessedtoteach.com. That's blessed with the number 2, teach.com. God bless, and be sure to go empower others with the truth.